Hey everyone, this is Uthris and welcome back to Medieval Engineers, where we're working on a nice citadel. And so, last episode we basically just kind of went over the plans, the basic plans of what's going to happen in the series, and then finished working on some of the gatehouse in terms of structure. Off camera, as you can see, I went ahead and put up some flags and the main gate. It's missing the centerpiece that will actually kind of seal it off fully, so you won't have this gap. And then it's also missing the ropes and pulleys that's going to be working in the reverse, like the open close. I actually want to have one open and close via a rope jump rather than just the normal kind of running into it method, though I do still like kind of the running into it method. It's pretty cool in its own way, even though for some reason they're stuck mostly closed, and I don't know why they're doing that. Normally the physics would kind of break on it and would allow for it to open farther, but I don't know why it's not doing it right now. Oh well, I think it's okay. I mean, you can still open it just enough to get out for sure. I wonder why it's causing that. Normally it's not doing that at all. Oh, it could be the flags. In fact, I have a feeling that is exactly it. So let me get rid of these two flags and see. Yeah, that fixes it. So I guess I can't have these little flags, at least that close to the door. It impedes its movement. So, there you go. It's a pretty standard door. Pretty cool on its own. You gotta be a little careful shutting it because it likes to slam shut. But, a nice, clean, simple design. I went ahead also and made one of our first defensive turrets. And this has, of course, an inner section. Number one, to kind of just keep people out of the rain and elements. And then number two, I just think it looks cool. You can have windows, and then also a back kind of door here where you can actually get out onto the battlement, so you can defend the walls from here. As you can see, we have a nice view of the main bridge. It's a bit narrow, but oh well. Pretty wonky of a staircase, if I have to say so myself. Just an observation, I suppose. I do want to seal it off, though. And then also, I need something to transition this a little bit smoother, so we don't get that just straight edge all of the time. I don't think that looks good. Of course, we can get out into the first set of walls from that tower as well. And then the only way up this tower is if they take the gatehouse. So they actually have to go through the doors down here or break it down, basically. Off camera as well, I went ahead and laid out some basic floor plans. This is one, of course, it leads to the first turret, but this is the small stables. Might be able to fit maybe 4 horses in here, 2 per each side. And I went with the wood just so not everything's looking gray. Then let's see for the actual barn section. Well, not barn, but covered section for the horses. I'm going to be using the windmill blades, of course. And we're just going to drag it out. We're going to have a lot of detail with the overall structure and a lot of layers, which I think will be pretty cool to see once it's all together. And definitely fun to siege with all your friends. Now, the problem with that, of course, with the current system, the mat would be basically considered too large to work, but hopefully they'll increase the size of that soon enough. I mean, we won't be done for this for a couple episodes. I mean, 10 at least, 10 or so episodes for what all I have planned. I mean, it's going to be a lot of multi-stories, a lot of kind of weaving passageways and things like that, and also maybe a couple Easter eggs. Just keep dragging out the roof here. Think about there. It's about halfway. And then we need to start on the other side. Now I'm thinking, I've been looking at a lot of timber and stone recently, just because it's very similar to Stonehearth. In fact, it was out before Stonehearth, so really it's the original. But it looks really good and a lot of fun. So I'm going to be making a series on that here within the next probably couple of weeks or a couple of days, depending if I feel like buying it early or not, because it's just up my alley, that kind of simulation plus kind of city management. And plus you get to build castles, and you guys know that's what I'm all about, so why not? Can I actually meet this completely in the center? I think I can. That's nice. Nice sealed roof by doing that. Now I had to work out the supports and everything as well, but it's definitely a nice start. I guess the best thing to use here would be a pillar, like so. And then also down here in the ground level, so we get a nice kind of open area to the stables. And it is very basic. I'm not making a large stables here because it would be mainly kind of footmen guarding the Citadel. I would figure technically there would be their own outside like village and everything, but we're not going to build all that for the siege map. It's just the map would just be far too big at that point. Then what I want to do is let's use thatch, just a nice change of color, and also put some supports. It's all about making it believable, as if it can hold up its own weight, especially for these type of structures. And then to kind of seal off this area with roofing, make this section a little bit of a T, and it'll jut out. I think that'll look pretty cool. Go ahead and lay down our wonderful thatch roofing. Oh, breaking things already. I'm probably going to regret laying this down so early, because if you guys have watched a lot of videos, I constantly reiterate that roofing is kind of the last thing to be done, just because of how the roofing tiles generate. It just makes your life easier if you do it at the end, because if you add anything onto this, it's going to mess it up. see, I think I can get rid of this block and just place it with a solid square. One, it'll make it a little bit stronger, and it'll also make the wall for us. I'm going to drag out kind of the upper section here, like so. As you can see, we're already getting a little bit of an artifact effect on those things on the roof. It's not a thing, it's a roof. Vocabulary is not very strong today, obviously. Yeah, horses, you can have an access way. Let's go ahead and make this look a little bit more interesting, and I could throw in these archways. You still get the stucco, but you get the arches basically looking like they're supporting a lot of the weight. And they would be supporting a lot of the weight for sure. For this section, I think it would be best probably use the stone battlement. Is this gonna look really weird? I bet it is. It's gonna look a little weird. Yeah, that looks weird. Let's go ahead and just get rid of those. A little much. Can I put a pillar like that as a detail, and then also let's go with a stone pillar. You also notice from this series so far it's a little bit different than normal. I feel like I am doing a lot more building rather than time skipping. But it is still early on, and if I feel like it's going to get a little bit boring, we will fast forward a little bit, as always. I'm going to put a balcony right here because it's just screaming for one. It'd be pretty cool. And then we need a way to get up there, so why not? Yeah, we can put a staircase over here. Does that block the window? It blocks the window, of course. Let's get a corner staircase like that. So yeah, a lot of the structure is going to be changing, being updated. It's going to have a lot going on. In fact, I need to get rid of that because we're going to go up one more floor, I think. So let's go ahead and do that by grabbing a normal staircase. So it'll go straight and then curve down. It's definitely a little steep for my liking, but oh well. And then we can just make a little connecting hallway of some kind here. Like, oh, I have to go this way now. Again, going for a little bit of a maze-like feel. Bring up the walls for this new height level. And then also what we need is some pillars. We're going to give this thing kind of a tall door. So something like that. Okay, and you can come up and fall to your doom, I guess. what else, what else, what else, what else? Let's go ahead and put in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put in our walls here. And I guess you could say this is just a upper loft storage area for the stables. Maybe they keep some of their food up here. If only there was really a way for me to represent English. I don't speak it, obviously. Let's just do that. I brought this over all the way just so it sits flush with the tower, but the room itself, I'm going to go ahead and just cap that. And then we'll throw our wonderful supports as always. Problem being, it's probably going to mess up the floor for that tower. Is there any way for me to fix that? Truthfully, I do not know. If there is a way for me to fix that or not. There we go. Just make the room a little bit more smooth and even. I guess we'll be kind of forced to double everything up right there. Like that. And then we'll go with a red roof for this section. Give it some type of effect like that. Now we're gonna have this little bump here, but you can walk over it. It doesn't really stick through. It looks good. So successful in that. I need to add railings in here though. Don't want people hurting themselves. So now you can walk around all the way. Still think they have absurdly tall railings, but whatever. It's alright. Probably gonna need 4 pillars in here. Thinking about it. So might as well just bring them all the way up. This is also messing up the roof a little bit, I'm sure. Always does. And whoa, it just changed color on us a little bit. Alright. Can't really lift off. There we go. I wish I could get rid of the all this outer kind of section. But I don't think that's possible. In fact, no, I know it's not possible because that's still within that one block. So I can only delete some of the edges here. Just wish I could get it flush. That's all. So there we go. That looks pretty good. And that is our stables. The little balcony area. We can We have a little bit of time left in this episode, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a little awning on here. In fact, I'm going to flip it around like this. That way it's not looking exactly like the other windmill blade section. Then we'll also use timber for the detail areas. Like that. Oop. Like that. Is this not connected? No. Stuck on the roof. There we go. So we have a nice little cool balcony, a little bit of an interesting shape for that structure. Once this has a roof, it'll blend in a little bit better, I think. And our stables, front gates, I think that looks pretty nice. It's gonna look a lot of like really squished together buildings, and we'll get high spots, low spots, many multi-story spots, hopefully, if the structure can hold the weight. And I think that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are enjoying the content, feel free to leave a like, comment down below on any kind of area that you might think is necessary for our wonderful Citadel here. It looks like someone wanted a roost. I forget the exact term, like where falcons stay for message birds. Falconry, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, so I could be completely wrong. That's planned. That'll be a cool feature. I think that's actually going to be on one of the highest points of the castle. So we won't get to it for later, but I definitely want one. I think that's a really cool idea. So feel free to suggest anything away, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good night.